let's kick things off. And the way that I like to start my presentations is to talk about statistics and the reason why you have likely logged in. We've got some turnover statistics today that are unlike anything that we've seen in the entire 30 years that I have been involved in HR. Right now, unemployment is at 3.7%. That equals about 6.1 million people. So across the United States, unemployment is very low, which means that there are very few candidates that are actually available for your positions. On top of that, there are over 9 million job openings in the United States. And if you see that there are fewer people available to work than there are job openings, that kind of explains the heartache that you are likely feeling. There are fewer people to fill those positions. And some of the things that are factoring into that are that we have baby boomers retiring at a rate of 10,000 each week. We have Gen Xers who are retiring earlier. We're kind of part of that generation where investing in your retirement became very, very popular and more a normal course of our careers. So we have retirement accounts and are able to retire earlier. So they are leaving the workforce. And we also have a birth rate that is decreasing. We don't have enough human bodies available to actually fill all of the positions that are around the world right now. And that is something that we're kind of going to be dealing with for years to come. People are having fewer children, and there are more and more positions that are becoming available and fewer people who can actually fill those positions. So that kind of explains some of why you are feeling some angst with regards to keeping and retaining individuals. Other things to keep in mind are that the newer generations work 14% less than boomers and Gen Xers by choice. They don't want to work more. They don't want to work the kinds of hours that boomers and Gen Xers have traditionally worked. And there's enough of them where they can actually make those types of demands, which makes it a little bit more difficult for employers. What are those individuals doing? Well, they're finding other ways to work in order to suit their lifestyles. So some of them are working for themselves. They're doing things like DoorDash or podcasts. They're social media influencers, or they're finding other ways of doing work from home for themselves as entrepreneurs. They're also doing gig work, which means that they'll just find some sort of job that's going to pay them what they want to be paid for a period of time. And then they leave that job and they go do whatever they want to do, whether that's travel or maybe just take some time off or go do a different gig. They're not looking for those long-term types of employment. They're also doing a lot of part-time work and having multiple part-time jobs, which would create the flexibility for them so that they can do the things that they want to do outside of work. And some of them are just not working at all. So this is the reality. This is what we are dealing with. And it truthfully is the reason we are having to invest time and resources into how do we retain our employees. The situation is what it is. Boomers and Gen Xers, we can sit here and talk about whether we agree with the lifestyle or the choices that are being made by younger generations. But the fact is, they have decided that other things are more important than work. And so we are having to deal with some of those choices. So what we are going to talk about today is the situation that we're dealing with, which is a war for talent. And that is an increasingly competitive landscape for recruiting and retaining talented employees. The only solution to that war is to operate with a mindset that emphasizes the importance of talent to the success of your organization. All right, and that is really, really important. A lot of organizations will say, oh, our people are our number one resources, but they may not invest the time and effort that they need to in order to recruit and retain the people who work for them. So as an organization, in response to that, what you need to do is to think of retention as a core strategic initiative. It should be the responsibility of all senior level executives to put into place practices that will keep employees there once you get them. And once you put those solid practices in place, you oftentimes are going to see that your retention is better, which means that you're actually keeping those people that you fought so hard to find. So with regards to retention, the things that we're going to talk about today are on this list. We're going to talk about recruitment and making recruitment a priority. We'll talk about your onboarding and orientation process and the experience that those new hires go through on those crucial first days when they join you. We'll discuss compensation and ensuring what it means to pay employees fairly for the job that they are doing. We'll talk about inclusive work environments and making sure that you have a diverse workforce and the importance of that on today's employee. We'll also discuss allowing employees to grow from training and mentoring and coaching opportunities and the importance of choosing your people managers wisely. We'll wrap it up with talking about flexibility in the workplace and providing wellness benefits that address a variety of different factors, and overall creating a work environment that your employees want to be part of. And if you're able to do some or all of these things, it really is going to improve your likelihood of not only recruiting, but of retaining your good talent.